John Wayne Gacy was an American serial killer who sexually assaulted and killed 33 young men and boys, then buried their bodies underneath his crawl space in the 1970s. Between 1972 and 1978, Gacy would invite victims back to his house, dupe them with a handcuff trick, pretending to do some magic. He would then proceed to bound them, sexually assault and torture them, and then ultimately strangle them. When his crawl space became full, he then started dumping bodies into the Plains River. Gacy was born on March 17, 1942. He was the second of 3 children. He was always close to his mother, but had a strained relationship with his father, who was an alcoholic as well as being physically abusive to young Gacy. He would call him names like sissy, mama's boy, and queer. Gacy in later interviews would go on to say that he never felt good enough in his father's eyes. Despite these difficulties as a child, he actually did very well socially. He was a member of the Democratic Party and is even seen pictured with the First Lady, Rosalind Carter. He was a manager of 3 KFC stores and would go on to start a company called PDM Contractors. In his spare time, Gacy would dress up as Pogo the Clown, who'd attend children's hospitals and charity events. Beneath the outgoing social mask was a darker side, however. He was charged and convicted of sexually assaulting a 15-year-old boy called Donald Voorhees. He'd go on to spend time in prison where psychiatrists would say he had antisocial personality. Gacy would move into 8213 West Somerdale Avenue. This would become one of America's largest grave sites of a serial killer. The first victim was 16-year-old Timothy McCoy, who he ended up stabbing before dumping his body in the crawl space. Over the next few years, he would go on to murder 32 other boys and men. He would strangle them, push cloths and underwear into their mouths, attempted to drown some victims, but would ultimately garrote and kill them. In 1978, Gacy ran out of room in the crawl space. He then proceeded to dump a further 5 victims into the Plains River. His last victim was Robert Peast, who told family members that he'd been seeing a contractor about a job. Suspicion grew around Gacy, and he was put on surveillance. It was whilst he was on surveillance that police noticed when they went inside his house a foul, rotting smell when they flushed a toilet. December 20th, 1978, Gacy, whilst intoxicated, went to his attorneys to confess. On December 21st, the next day, the crawl space was dug up and started to release its dark secrets. Body after body after body was recovered from down there in various states of decomposition. On February 6, 1980, Gacy was charged with 33 counts of murder. And at his trial, the insanity defence was unequivocally thrown out. The jury deliberated for only 1 hour and 50 minutes before finding him guilty on all charges. He was ultimately sentenced to death. On May the 9th, 1994, Gacy was put to death via lethal injection. His last known words were, "Kiss my ass."